We have liftoff in the first major championship of the women's golf season. Welcome to Houston, round one of the 55th Chevron Championship. From a first-time host, Memorial Park Golf Course. A rainy start to the week has given way to sunny skies, and the world's best quest for this storied title is underway. Grant Boone, Morgan Pressel with you. Tom Abbott, Paige McKenzie calling the odd holes. Bones Mackay, Karen Stupples out on the golf course, and Amy Rogers is going to do some interviews for us today. Here is a player to watch with the leaderboard -3 leading the way, Linngrant and Somilee. This is Minjeelee, and Karen Stupples is there.
It is glorious out here today, much nicer than the early part of the week. This putt is uphill at the start, back downhill as it approaches the hole.
Minjee playing in a group of last year's major champs. At the 16th, Morgan, here is Somilee.
One of the early starters this morning, getting off to a good start. I think everybody was a little bit unsure of how the golf course would play in competition, but scoring conditions are beautiful this morning. The golf course, of course, in fabulous shape as well. These greens are absolutely pure.
Last year's AIG Women's Open champion being watched by another one, Karen Stupples. This is Yamashita.
It's going to be a fascinating watch, seeing how Miyu navigates this golf course. Playing long today, and she does not hit the ball very far, so had to hit a wood into this green. We'll walk off with a par.
This is right up the right center, should land softly and be in good shape.
Just the second start for Lexi this year, a part-time player these days.
What a golf swing this young lady has. Fantastic player. Power cut as described, right up the middle.
And there you see just how soft the golf course is because of the nearly 3 inches of rain.
Up ahead, U.S. Women's Open champ Majastark.
A little bit of movement to the right.
Said she struggled mightily after winning. Her fellow Swede at the par 5 16th, Linngrant, off to a great start.
It's been pretty calm earlier today. You kind of feel like maybe the breeze is picking up a touch. I think that's one of the biggest offenses around this golf course.
Seven iron on the way, on the terrific line.
Linngrant to take the outright lead.
Just a bit of a quick putt from this position.
On the LPGA, Lydia at 6.
Also a 7 iron from 150. This is tugged a little bit into the left center of the green. Wind really picking up in the face at the moment. Flighting it down, right of the flag. I think that wind got her.
Back at the 7th in the opening round of the Chevron Championship, miyuyamashita.
Yeah, she couldn't hold the green with a 4 hybrid. Nice bit of cushion under this one with that longer grass, Page.
Yeah, and it's not terrible behind the green. You can see.
Long one for Lydiako at the 6th.
Up and over a ridge to a flag that is barely on the green here. Patty T in front of her hit a very poor chip shot to some 18 feet short of the hole.
Now Lexi.
Back up the hill has a super angle here. That second shot was really good, just didn't quite catch enough hurting breeze to finish around the hole.
Even with a limited schedule that she plays, she still works very hard on her golf game.
And she was over the back of the green as well, but on that shorter cut of grass and just a little bit heavy-handed with the bump and run.
Well done. Patty's playing playing with a decent amount of confidence as well. Had a good week last week in LA.
And that'll do wonders, won't it?
Oh, here is the 17th. This is Somilee for birdie.
Front left bunker in play. You do not want to go in there. This is turning over. Let's see if it carries that bunker.
Flirting with the penalty area over there, but it's fine.
Over at the 10th, Yanliu. This for a 4th straight birdie. She had the 36-hole lead at this championship last year.
This is on a super line, but I'm not sure she got all of it. Boy, but she...
Good shot. Oh, that's great. And a good look at the release.
Back over at the 7th, and lydiako.
4 hybrid.
She's going to have to manufacture something. You can see how much she's gripping down on this club. Challenge there is you may not get as much spin, so expect some release.
Oh, yeah, that really charged on. This is Linngrant with her second into 17. This hole's pretty exposed.
It's playing very difficult today. In fact, the hardest so far, early days.
And this is one of those players tied for the lead. It's Linngrant, just off the green at 17 for birdie.
It's going to be very slow up this hill. It's pretty good.
Pattytavatanakit second at 7.
After
And
flirting with a penalty area.
the 9th, and hyojookim.
Another one of those segmented greens. This front hole location is in a pretty narrow, small part of the green, but unhappy, but it turned out just fine.
Gonna have a good chance for a 2. Lexi has a chance for a 2 here at 7.
What a beautiful approach shot from Lexi. This would be a fantastic 2, as tough as this hole is playing today.
Just one birdie so far.
And she has a gap wedge out. 107 is the yardage. It's only 2 yards over that false front from this angle that she's playing from.
The different types of undulations and the number of shots you're hitting from below the putting surface.
Somilee, 9th hole of the day, her second to the 18th.
Some tight hole locations today. This one here on 18, only 3 paces off the left, and it's only about 1.5 from a pretty severe fall off on the left side of that green.
Minjeelee at the 8th.
Facing the same problem with that false front, but she has 96 yards and the wind is helping, so players able to not have to worry about spinning this ball back quite so much with this wind direction.
Just misjudged that quite a bit there.
After winning a major in Texas last summer, Minjeelee could, along with Anna Nordquist and Inji-chun, in the estimation of the LPGA Tour, complete the career Grand Slam. 5 majors in women's golf, but if you win 4 different ones, the LPGA declares you the winner of the career slam. She won Evian back in 2021, Minji did, in the U.S. Open 22. All 3 of these players needing the Chevron Championship. Their 4th different. Here's miyuyamashita, and this is a 3rd of the 8th.
And she has a 52-degree wedge from 85 yards. Ball is just a hint above her feet.
This is not easy for Hannah Green here, Paige.
You know, this was the danger you were talking about. Anything left of this green.
Birdie putt for Somilee at the 18th.
Would have worked on coming into this week, or some lengthy that fell on this property on Tuesday alone. 1.5 inches of rain, and the golf course out there, Bones, looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It looks fantastic, as does its drive up the left center.
A lot of the fairways and greens as well.
This is jinheeim. Lost a playoff to hannahgreen last week in L.A. Won a playoff with somilee at the Dow Championship. Beat lexithompson and Megan Kang. And she made a putt of about that length, as a matter of fact, to finish it off. And we're at the 8th. And minjeelee.
I mean, this is a player that has revolutionised her game, really, by the change of putter. Now, absolutely a strength for her.
One of the worst on tour in terms of putting stats to one of the best.
It's a birdie putt here for hyojookim. And her name is going to loom large on the leaderboard with the...
She sure does. This putt's a little bit downhill from this part of the green, and I was thinking, you know, how do these sometimes, because they have to think hard for their approach shots into the greens.
Majastark, this to join the group at -3.
Very similar.
Yeah, she found a putter in Phoenix. This is at the 16th, and maybe the best player without a win on the LPGA Tour, Hyejinchoi.
Every decision is interconnected, and the best path forward is the difference between winning and losing. But the right advice is hard to find. Whether it's managing risk or building a high-performance team, Aon goes further. The time for uncertainty is over. The time for better risk and people decisions is now.
Now, last year, at another first-time major venue for the LPGA, Majastark stood above the rest at the U.S. Women's Open at Erin Hills, and then minjeelee won her third different major championship, the KPMG Women's PGA, and at Royal Porthcawl in Wales, miyuyamashita never trailed on the weekend. Went on to win Rookie of the Year.
Is major champion from last year, Majastark on the tee.
And she has a 7-iron out. This is coming in pretty flat, though.
Ninth hole of the day for one of the 7 leaders, linngrant.
This would suit her eye. She likes those left hole locations, hitting her draw, but push that one out to the right a little bit too much. Conservative. And you, like I said, there's only about a pace and a half left of that hole location before you miss the green. We'll see quite a few in that area as the day goes on.
Here's the player with the best cumulative score to par in the major championships last year, minjeelee.
And you would think her game is really well suited for this golf course. She's quite disciplined when it comes to her targets, and I think on this course you really need to be. This is a great example of it. You have to play this one out to the right of that flag, even though there's the penalty area down the right. Oh, it's as if she listened to me.
Well, she is predictable in that way. She not only plays smart, her execution is very strong.
There are 8 amateurs in the field this week, and we'll show you some of those in a moment. Take a look first at Rolex marquee groupings. And one of them, this one. Chevron champions, pattytavatanakit 2021, Lexi 2014, and a decade ago, lydiako. And this group of major champs from last year, Majastark, miyuyamashita, minjeelee.
Lexi drove the ball in the fairway, but decided to lay the ball up well back, I think looking for some spin, given the fact the pin is just over a false front. She's got pitching wedge from 133.
Better say, Bones, not going to take anything off this. Full swing.
The 12th. Back to the 8th we go, and Lydia
After a huge mud ball off the tee, her second ended up in the rough. She's played to this point here 88 yards with a sand wedge, just bringing it off a ridge.
In terms of power, when she won this championship 5 years ago, Bones averaged better than 3.
That is well done.
Going to have some lengthy putts, so to avoid 3 putts is huge.
Rinse, repeat. Hyojookim near the top of the leaderboard on the LPGA Tour. She's giggling at that one. We'll see.
This is majastark at 9.
Had loads of green to use with this chip, Tom.
A little low one she played there.
Mm-hmm.
At the 18th, long birdie putt for Linngrant.
Minjeelee for a birdie at 9.
Pretty good place to putt from here. Didn't see a huge amount.
And at the 8th, Lydiako for birdie.
Back down the hill, moving to her right.
This is the tee at the 9th, and Tavatanakit.
8-iron from 159. Good looking shot here, slightly left of it.
She was, body language was trying to tell it to slow down.
Also with an 8-iron.
So only about 16 paces in width in this area. That is tremendous.
Somilee, 10th hole of the day, tied for the lead. Third shot at the par 5 first.
Location is really tucked here on the front right of this green.
This is a moment ago. Tee shot at the 9th for Lydiako. Oh, this looks fantastic.
You could tell what a controlled golf swing that was.
Hyojookim for par at the 10th.
This would be an excellent up and down from that bunker.
Pattytavatanakit for birdie at 9.
Tee shot finished just a few inches from disaster here. This ball hung up on the fringe. She's now got a quality look.
I think she just misread that.
I think you're right.
See Somilee's shirt flapping in the wind here. This is for birdie.
The wind has been forecasted to pick up as the day goes on. It is Texas, after all. Isn't that what we expect here?
It is.
It was pretty.
A year or so of standing over the ball a little bit longer. It's customary for her, but it's a lot of players try to be a little more reactionary and not static. Just a little bit of a misread, perhaps.
She's racked up a lot of earnings in her career. Let's go to 10.
And majastark second.
And this has to get up.
Lexi for birdie at 9. And does.
It's about a one-shot difference right now in the front 9 scoring versus the back 9. Front giving up a few more birdies than the back.
And this is Inayoon. This to take a share of the lead. Oh, yeah. Just a moment ago at the 10th, majastark.
Oh, and she left herself a long way to go, but all about speed here for her.
Like it rolled.
Minjeelee eyeing this birdie attempt at the 10th.
And I think this is quite a good place to putt from. Slightly uphill.
And she got off to a good start last week in L.A., but withdrew with an illness. So back to full strength. And back on the tee, pattytavatanakit.
This is another big pull draw to the left, similar to the one she hit a few holes ago. Wind sitting down for the moment. This also pulls, cutting back now, trying to catch a piece of the fairway.
Chef Keller does a tremendous job.
Hyojookim there for a par 11. This is a tough hole today.
Talked about those 8 amateurs. And Tom, here's one of them.
Yeah, this is a player that has a huge amount of potential.
She's very tall, athletic, hits it a long way.
Linngrant at the first to tie the lead. Okay, so 3 now.
Back into a little bit of wind. Whole location is tucked behind that bunker. There is 5 yards of room there, but when you're going in with a 4-iron, you really can't take that on. Maya playing this one to the left side of the green.
Yeah, turning the wrong way, it appears.
So 170, as you see.
This is one of those few flag sticks, Paige, that you mentioned that's not tight on the edge. Looking for this to fade. Didn't quite get it there.
This is her birdie attempt at the second.
This has been a really difficult par 3 today.
Playing from 161, she's got 8-iron in hand.
It's a good one where you can really take dead aim here.
She's blocked this one right of the flag.
And pattytavatanakit now.
Playing very quickly from 157. This is right at it if it's the right club.
It's almost like they're not used to seeing flag sticks in the middle of the greens, and then all of a sudden here, take dead aim. It's a little bit unusual, but
The long birdie putt at the 11th for majastark.
Pretty downhill, this putt. So judging the speed is going to be important. She's been good with that all day, though.
Yeah.
Another good one.
How about that? So, Bones, you mentioned it, the power, yes, but the hands at 8 and 10. Linngrant at the second.
good look off the tee of this tough par 3 hole is located just over a huge slope that dissects the center of this green.
Looking for 2 in a row. This down the hill, moving from right to left.
Over at the first, making the turn, inayoon to get it to 5 under par. Good week last week. And a missed opportunity there. At the 13th, jinheeim for birdie. Oh, walking it in.
Jinhee came close. Now Lexi, the comebacker for par. Patty T's seen a lot of Memorial Park today, Bones. Linngrant at the second.
Yeah, and that's with a front hole location, so this one could be a real beast.
She's using the same club as she did on 7 that ended up over the green. 7 played 10 yards.
Hitting a power cut here. This is going to get there, I believe.
That was a great shot. What a cool shot.
Yeah, great club selection there, too. Good work with her caddy.
Mimirhodes playing alongside Kiararomero. Didn't like that.
Honey, yep.
And she is playing left of that bunker.
Just shut the face down there through impact. You could tell immediately from her follow through that that was a pull.
Yeah, Bones mentioned she came up short of the green. Here's lydiako.
Hitting a little spinner back into the wind. That was a great shot.
It's overseeded. You can see some of the Bermuda areas out here that never were overseeded starting to come in green. So you're seeing a little bit of creep of that Bermuda grass in, but otherwise it's mostly rye. Gives it a nice tee-up feel for the players.
Now Minjeelee at the 12th.
And she has 155 and a 9-iron. Ball is a little bit below her feet. Still with that heavy wind, you've still got to allow for some release on this green.
Is over the green.
This is Pattytavatanakit.
Well played.
Now 11. At 12, majastark.
This one 145. I'm trying to finesse something in here.
Ah, yes. A thing of beauty for Maya.
5 par 5s out here, 5 par 3s. This is somilee for a birdie. Eagles, excuse me.
Putting downhill, downwind. Got to be careful of your speed here, especially considering she knocked one past on the last hole.
Giving it a run.
And up ahead, this is a par putt for Yamashita.
Yeah, the chip shot was fairly good from over the back of the green. Just bumped it into the bank and...
He's missed the green left.
There's so many different ways you can play these shots around the green. Typically sitting below the putting surface, you can bump it into the slope, you can choose to fly it. It's a good touch there.
And after that lovely approach at the 12th, majastark for birdie.
Clearly feeling confident with this club.
Second half of the season. So now Minjeelee, she's got a par attempt, and wouldn't it be fitting if Minjee completed the career Grand Slam at a golf course where her brother Min Woo won for the first time on the PGA Tour? That was last year.
That would certainly be quite the accomplishment. Sir has gotten some of the ins and outs, the subtleties of the golf course, little notes from her brother. They definitely have very different games, though, so I think that's an interesting thing, and of course is set up a little bit differently here this week, being a major.
Yoon for par at 2.
Aggressive putter by nature.
For Stacy. The place where she grew up. Minjee's going to drop a shot, and just one.
This is a 7-iron ball, just a little bit below her feet, but it is downwind.
Day where we've seen her manipulate some shots, some longer shots.
This is pulled quite badly.
Yeah, that's kind of the miss we saw from the group ahead as well.
Taking it way up in the air. It's on a good line if it's the right number. But just a half a club short there, a little bit unlucky. This is a groove low here and left. Let's see if it hangs on.
Great opportunity for a birdie, maybe even an eagle at the 3rd. This is Linngrant for birdie.
The ball should move a little right to left, then left to right, kind of canceling each other out. Lydiako played in front of her and hit a quality pitch shot from over the green to about 5 feet from the hole.
Somilee at the 4th. To add another one.
Only been 2 birdies all day today on 4.
Weird reaction with her hand.
I think a bug.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at her scrambling for the year, she's top 10 in scrambling, top 5 in bunker play. So
Earlier in the week, but it was rainy, damp, and it's just gorgeous today. 13.
Second shot for Stark. Second shot is where things get interesting on this hole.
she's on
Pretty nice temperatures for all 4 days of the championship.
Right at the 16th, Yanliu. She moves it to 4 under par, scoring 25 under par.
Back into the wind here, a little 8-iron from 137. Cutting it just slightly to the right of the flag. Choking way down. This is a big pull here. This is short-sided and in a really bad spot.
And right is where the problems start. And as you can see with that flag today, missing it left, as Bones was saying, that
108, taking it very high in the air, just right of the flag. Got to hang on spin-wise.
As the wind freshens, Linngrant for par at 4.
good chance for a birdie here for Somilee at 5. Gets a 6 under par. Back on the 13th, and Lexithompson for birdie. Now, let's see if Patty can make this one.
I feel like we had a lot to talk about last week with Ingrid Lindblad and her being open about her struggles and talking about it. And I feel somewhat similar for Maya, like being honest and open.
Oh, we saw Lydiako miss the green on the left, and even the great Lydiako couldn't get this one close. So this for par.
Just a bit of an odd shot, a little heavy-handed there, and bunker play.
That one to get it to 3 under par. Born in Jersey, grew up in Florida. 15.
And Majastark on the tee. '17th. She's going along well. This is to tie the lead. And she's got
nice.
it.
Back to the 15th.
Yeah, and it's a big expanse of green. Second half of this putting surface. Easy to find that expanse, but not necessarily easy to get it close.
No. Greens here averaging about 7,000 square feet, so large greens, but highly segmented.
Minjeelee 2 over par.
Surprising.
Yeah.
For a consistent competitor in major championships in recent years.
Obviously a lot of time left, but you don't want to play yourself out of things on day one and just make that task so much more difficult the next 3 days.
Again, just up the hill. Only two birdies here so far today, and you can understand why it's been so difficult to access this whole location.
Putt. Everything slopes towards the back of the green here on 14. Nice to see her really feeling confident and being able to put it together week to week.
To 7.
Yeah, Somilee coming towards the end of her round. 3 holes to play.
Good target is just at that TV tower. That is well done. Got it safely aboard.
And this will have a decent amount of break to the left. Keep the speed up. Maybe a little too much on that one.
Around the hole for birdie.
Left wrist, competing in the Olympics multiple times, Lexi. Pattytavatanakit, she has been scrambling. She's been all over Memorial Park today. She's got this to keep the scorecard. Okay.
149 back into a stiff breeze at the moment. This is left of the flag. Let's see if it's enough, club.
Ooh.
You talked about long not being too bad.
Good contact. Cutting left of the hole.
It's fine. As you can see, that's the rappel from this little...
And Lydia.
Going with a little 6-iron on a terrific line.
Oh, wow.
Brilliant shot.
A huge amount, not just about what's happening in the tournament play.
Hyojookim to get a little closer to the lead to finish off round of 67.
Tavatanakit for a birdie at 15.
Putting from distance, looking to see if she can get the ball in that back patio. They certainly have, or the ball is sitting down quite quickly. The thing I've noticed most is that the runoffs to the sides of the greens haven't been quite as speedy, if you will, as they typically would be.
Brilliant.
2 great shots, Karen. 3rd here.
It is very steep slope in front of her, going for a bit of a super flop, I think, here.
And 4.98. Somilee to add to her lead. Has she done it? Here's Kiararomero to go 4 under.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure I've ever seen a shot like that.
She's got some work to do.
And Somilee trying to finish up with a chip-in birdie, and now trying to finish up with a scrambling par.
3rd shot for Pattytavatanakit at 16.
Yeah, she can't have been too pleased with that wedge shot she hit in here. It certainly got away from her in terms of distance control.
Inayoon is going to try and chip this in for a bogey. Oh no, just over to the 9th, and this to finish off with a round of 66. Be her lowest opening round in a major championship.
She came out of that pretty early.
And has had a couple of first-round leads on the LPGA. Majastark just off the green here at 17.
It was just always going to be a slow putt.
At the 18th, charleyhull, one of the brightest stars in the game, and this to finish up with the flourish. Yeah, that look kind of says it all. Hyojookim bogey free today, but this for par. She got away with a couple.
Coverage continues of the Chevron Championship. Not good news for Linngrant on her final hole of the day. This is a bogey. Had some issues over on the left side of the green with the bunker, so... Now Tavatanakit to get to 5 under par, tie the lead.
This putt break just towards the back of the green here.
Middle of the green. The ball should feed a little to the right as it runs out.
How many young girls have stood next to Lexithompson and looked up?
Ball came out a little bit to the right. Let's see if it carries to the front edge. Does not, and that ball will release back down to the low area.
A lot of young boys have looked up to Lexi, too, and wanted to play like her. Here's pattytavatanakit.
And she's trying to draw one in there to it.
How about this? Gonna stay?
At the 9th, final hole of the day for Inayoon, had that double bogey at 7 for this organization and this championship to 18.
And a player with 1 of 2 in the field. How about 72? This is for another 72.
Make some birdies to jump up that leaderboard.
How about that?
I mean, I would say it didn't look like a 67, but that's what just wonderful putting can do.
This is how it looks on day 1 of the Chevron Championship at its new home, Memorial Park Golf Course, 5 miles from downtown Houston, inside that 610 Houston loop. And you got